Recently, I've been testing the Volvo EX30 a lot here on the channel. That is one of the smallest electric cars you can currently buy. And this is one of the largest, the Ford F-150 Lightning. So this is going to be a fun video to make, having recently spent a lot of time in a Volvo EX30, several of them actually, and then hopping into this, the full-size American F-150 Lightning. Apart from the front end being unique to the F-150 Lightning, this is basically identical to an F-150 crew cab. It is a full-size pickup and one of the largest cars I've ever driven here on the channel, if not the largest vehicle. I really do like the styling of the F-150 Lightning. I like that they haven't, done anything too futuristic with the Lightning version of the F-150, except for the light bar design, which I actually do like because it's still very clean, but it is still very recognizable in F-150 and an F-150 Lightning. So it is really nice. I actually like it. I mean, it's a square pickup truck. F-150s have had this iconic shape and look for decades, and I don't think that is a bad thing. I really like the way this looks, and that they just made it into an electric car. Yeah, that is really, really cool. But the thing about this car, especially here in Norway, is the sheer size. So walking around this car really does take up a little bit of time because this is 5.9 meters from front to end, and that is huge. And also the height of this thing. I mean, this will make anybody look like a dwarf. I'm 5'10", maybe 5'11" with shoes on, and this thing just towers over me. This is over 2 meters long, this F-150 Lightning. It is just massive. It is so big, this car, and that will come more into play once we take it out on the road. But for being what it is, for being a full-size pickup, yeah, I'm a real fan of the styling of this F-150 Lightning. Being a full-size pickup, you actually have to climb into the cabin of this F-150 Lightning. And when sitting here looking over, the large hood and out of these large windows, you really get this commanding view and superior feeling compared to other cars on the road because you just sit so much higher than them. In fact, I've been sitting higher and looking down at people sitting in buses. That is how tall this car is. So the interior, like the exterior, is large. Like the center console here, the width of it is just huge. And the passenger door, I can't even reach it with my arm all the way extended. Like I can barely touch a passenger sitting here if you wanted to touch them. I don't know why you wanted to touch your passenger. That's a bit weird, but yeah, if you wanted to do that. I mean, just this armrest here is so, it's so freaking wide. But other than that, this being the Lariat, which is the only version we get in Europe, which is like the second highest trim in the F-150 lineup. I think there's a Platinum above this, which we don't get here in Europe. It's actually really nicely appointed. I mean, it is a pickup truck. It is a working vehicle. Like, it's not going to be luxurious like a European premium car, but being what it is, it actually feels pretty nice. Like the leather on the steering wheel feels nice, the leather on the gear selector, and the stitched faux leather on the dashboard. It has, for the most part above your waistline, it is soft touch plastics with, nice trim there and here. Yeah, it is what it is. It's actually really nice. And I love the fact that it has a whole bunch of physical buttons, like on the steering wheel, on the console, on the doors. Yeah, this is not a Tesla Cybertruck. So if you like buttons, this is the car for you. So I think it's basically identical to a normal F-150, with a gas engine, except for this screen, which I think is exclusive to the F-150 Lightning. This is out of the Mustang Mach-E, and I think it's standard on Lariat trims and above, so Lariat and Platinum. And it's a nice screen. It's really, bright, it's big, it's 15 inches, and the fact that it is, portrait like this makes it actually fit really nice into the dashboard because the dashboard is so big. You can see the whole thing from your seating position, and it's for the most part okay to use. I like the fact that there is like this physical volume knob here, and it's okay to use. You have, your climate control is always down here to your left or to your right if you have a passenger. And overall, it is a really nice cabin for what it is. The leather is not, like luxury car leather. It's more like industrial leather, but it's fine. And looking at it, it may actually not be leather at all, but I don't mind. It's a pickup. Like it's not a Lamborghini, right? And it does have a lot of practicalities for being, a work truck. For example, the gear selector, if you push this, it will actually, fold down into the center console. And then this doubles as a workbench, like a table. So you can, do laptop work here if you want to, fill out paperwork, or you could just, have your drive-through meal here, which I did with a friend here last week. Large compartments here. It's just a lot of practicality and a lot of storage, and it is huge in here. I mean, it is huge. Even the pedals are electrically adjustable, so there's no problem finding a nice seating position here. It's kind of funny having to climb into the rear bench as well. But once sat here, yeah, this is enormous. Look at this amount of knee room. Look at how much headroom I have here. Yeah, this rear seat is huge. The floor is completely flat. It is very wide here, so sitting 3 full-size adults abreast here, yeah, that's really spacious. You have a large armrest here. This really is a nice car to take on the open road on a road trip. If you're gonna, carry passengers, you have large cup holders. It is just massive here. I have a lot of room to just stretch out and to relax. And also, because you're sitting so high up, the windows, like, yeah, you can rest your arm here, rest your elbow on the door cards here. It's just super comfortable. The Volvo EX30 has a trunk which is a little more than 320 liters. This has a front that is 20% bigger than that trunk at 400 liters. This is huge. You could sleep in here if you didn't have anywhere else to stay and you didn't want to stay in the cab. I mean, this is your guest room in the F-150 Lightning. And the fact that it's power operated from the key fob just makes it cool. Yeah, this is enormous. But of course, this being a pickup truck, it has a pickup bed with an electrically operated tailgate. So this specific car here is an internal demo car for Ford Norway that they lent me last minute because the press car I was supposed to pick up got damaged the day I was going to pick it up. So it's either, taking this car for a week, which is missing, like there's supposed to be a handle here and it does have a few scratches here and there. It was either taking this car for a week or not having a car at all. So I chose to pick up this pickup. No pun intended. But yeah, so you have this really nice step up here, and then you have, basically a really large bed. So I've been in the past week asking my friends if they need to move a motorcycle, lawnmower, chainsaws, whatever. And yeah, I don't have friends who have things to move with a pickup, which I was hoping, because that would maybe, justify me getting one of these. But yeah, either way, you could, you could put a tarp here, you could fill it up with water, and yeah, have a hot tub in your pickup bed, which a few friends of mine did in my early 20s, mid 20s. A friend of mine had a Chevy Silverado pickup, and we did that once. That was good times. But yeah, I'm not in my early 20s anymore. I'm a grown up, so maybe I shouldn't do that.
There ain't no satisfaction for me now. There ain't no satisfaction for me now. There ain't no satisfaction for me now. Now that you're gone, now that you're gone, now that you're gone.
Hello there. Yeah, I've been listening to only and exclusively country music since I picked this car up, or this truck up, last week. I keep saying car, and you guys are gonna, comment that down below, but it is a truck. It's not a car. It is a truck. So what is it like driving this truck in Norway, in Oslo, in the suburbs of Oslo? Well, at first I was a little bit intimidated, a little bit scared that it was going to be hard, because this is so much bigger than anything else on the road. I mean, it's 5.9 meters long. It's almost 6 meters long, and other cars that are really big and really long, like a Mercedes EQS, is like 5.2 meters long. This is a lot longer than that. But not only that, it is also wider and taller. And to my surprise, it's not a problem at all. It's not an issue driving this car in Oslo. Parking spaces here, I mean, it's sometimes a little bit of an inconvenience where you have to sometimes maybe do like a 3-point turn. Maybe you have to be a little bit more cautious. But for the most part, I don't even think about it. I just drive it. It doesn't feel too wide on the roads, even here in the suburbs. And sitting this high up is really nice. And the fact that you have 20-inch wheels, but like with massive sidewalls, you're just confident that, yes, you try to not hit curbs, but if you hit the curbs, you're just hitting them with the tires. So it really doesn't matter. I took this truck through a drive-through like earlier last week with a friend of mine, and it wasn't an issue at all. Like usually when I'm in like another car with big wheels, the sidewalls are so small that I'm scared I'm gonna scratch the rims. But in this car, you're not scared at all. The fact that it is so square, you have really good visibility, like the wing mirrors are huge. You can see all the corners of the car. The first day I picked up this car and it started to get dark, I'm like, I can see the taillights. Like, it's so easy to place this car, and you're sitting so high up, you have this huge greenhouse. It's just really easy to drive. Yes, because of that really long length, it is hard to park some places. Like the parking garage here at my local mall it's hard because you can't, park in normal parking bays because of the width, but especially because of the length of this car. There's more limitation in how long this is and not how wide it is, because like with the wing mirrors folded, it's not that much wider than a lot of other cars I drive. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. But what really surprised me is just how nice it is to drive. Yes, you're still on a body-on-frame chassis. It is still a pickup with huge wheels and is almost 3 tons, like without a driver. So you're gonna feel that weight, but for being what it is, it's surprisingly comfortable and especially refined. This is one of the quietest cars, like when it comes to road noise and NVH levels I've driven in a long time. It is really impressive. It is super quiet. Like here, doing 60, 70 kilometers an hour, I don't even have to raise my voice. And going on a motorway, like at motorway speeds, it's really, really quiet. So overall, it's an impressive truck to drive. It's really quiet, it's really comfortable. And this, having 450 horsepower, may not sound a lot for this big and heavy of a vehicle, but the fact that it has more than 1,000 Newton meters of torque, it's just really, it's fast. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in like 4.5 seconds. This thing is quick. It is rapid, and with that torque, yeah, it's insane. And that torque means you can tow 3.5 tons with this pickup. To do that though, you do need like a commercial truck license here in Europe, because this car like is right below the limit of maximum weight with, a payload and passengers of 3.5 tons. And to tow, yeah, you're way above that. You're at like 7 tons. So you do need a commercial license here in Norway and most parts of Europe to be able to tow with this. But yeah, I really like driving this F-150 Lightning. It's quiet, it's refined. Yeah, it's really nice. I've really enjoyed my week in the F-150 Lightning, and I was also looking forward to it a whole bunch. And it's not often I look forward to having a car on loan, and I really enjoy it even more than I thought I was going to enjoy it. So for the most part, this car has lived up to its expectations. Oh, I'm sorry, truck. This truck has, for the most part, lived up to the expectations I've had. It is a really nice truck to drive. Maybe the only place it disappoints is in the actual real world range, like in my motorway range test. I'm going to link that down below. It didn't get the best of range. But having lived with this car over a week, It has a little more than 300 kilometers of real-world range in a combination of driving around in Oslo and also doing the long trip test and the motorway range test. So it's not too bad, but the limited charging speed and, you know, the fairly poor range, at least in the conditions we've had here in Norway for the past week, it's not the best road trip companion if you want to get somewhere, you know, as quickly as possible. I think the extended range version is better for that, but that's not on sale in Europe. And the reason I think it's not on sale is because the car with payload would actually move it up a class. Like, this is, you can drive this on a normal driver's license here in Europe, but if they brought the extended version, I'm pretty sure that it would exceed that weight limit, meaning that you need like a commercial truck license to drive it. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this, and also they've set down the price like a few days after I picked this car up. So here in Norway, fully spec'd, it's a little more than 1 million kroner, so 91,000 euros, and I don't think that's bad. But I think if the extended range version with about 100 to 120 kilometers more range in the real world would have had that price tag, I think it would have been a really interesting proposition. But it may just be me. It may just be that I have a little bit of a romantic view on pickup trucks, and there are a few reasons for that. I actually lived in the United States, in California and in Arizona until I was 6 years old. So pickup trucks are, you know, part of my childhood. And also in my early to mid-20s, several friends of mine had full-size pickup trucks when I lived back in Bergen. Chevy Silverados, F-250s. And I have a lot of fond memories riding around with my friends, listening to country music in full-size pickups. Having a gas-powered version of one of these in Norway makes no sense at all. I just drove past, you know, the gas station here, and gas is 2 euros per liter. So having a full-size pickup that runs on gas doesn't make sense. This though, yes, it does have high consumption. It is thirsty, but electricity is also relatively cheap, at least if you charge it at home, which I have been doing a lot with this car. So guys, that was a little bit of a long outro, but I really, really like this. And I really want one of these, but I'm not sure if I want the standard range or an extended range, but they are great imports. So guys, maybe, we'll see. Let me know down below. Do you want to see more F-150 Lightning on the channel? Give this video a thumbs up. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.